Presented by That Time I Got Reincarnated in the same world as an anime podcaster, this is Shonen Jumping the Gun, the show where we set our sights on the first chapter of a manga and decide if it's a misfire or a bullseye.
Let's see how many rounds are in this magazine.
On today's episode, Nue's Exorcist. Welcome everybody, it is I, Kermit the Grog, your Ghostbuster extraordinaire, joined by my schoolyard chum and bully buster, Isekai Sensei-Sama Brad.
What's up?
What's up? Infectious energy. And today we are talking about the series Nue's Exorcist, I think is how you say it.
That's how I've been saying it.
Nue, that makes more sense.
I think it's Nue, because it's like Anue, as in like honored elder sister.
That makes sense. Foreshadowing. Or post-shadowing.
But I'm pretty sure that's just her name.
Shadowing. So. Yeah, but that's why it's her name, if that's the close-off meaning of it. For informational sake, at time of recording, the first chapter came out May 14th, 2023. I don't think that's going to change depending on when you're listening to this.
That was a while ago.
Go back in time. Yeah, this one's been going on for a hot minute. And as stated at time of recording, this is on chapter 27. And today is November 20th of 2023. So maybe by the time you hear this, might be a few more chapters. Nue's Exorcist. Compared to the last episode, doing pretty well. Alive. Again, I feel like this is spoiler alert. Maybe we should end with this.
Yeah, maybe. I can tell why it's doing so well.
Yeah. Yeah. With that little bit of information out of the way, let's dive into more information with my patented summary style. Side note, I did not catch the main character's name. I don't know if it is ever spoken, so he is called main character or MC. I tried.
We could look it up.
I could look it on the Wikipedia, but I wanted to use the information that was in the first chapter, and I don't remember ever learning it, so other people's names are said,
I'm pretty sure they say it in there.
If you Wikipedia now, Googling will break the podcast. Also, this has to get cut because it's noodling. Okay, we're back. I have the main character's name, which is Yajime. I've just been informed by the universe, but he's going to be MC because that's what I wrote in my notes.
Is that what we're calling me now?
What?
Am I the universe now?
The universe? Huh? Who knows what happens in between edits? You only know what's being recorded and put out on the podcast. Enough frivolities. Main character San's eye is glowing black shadow as he witnesses an act of schoolroom bullying, which he steps in to offer himself for, an act that even the guy being bullied pities him for. MC talks about being able to see spirits while wandering the school, culminating him opening a door and a massive spirit coming out, which reminds him when his dad died, and then it poofs away, revealing a pretty lady. She says her name is Nue. She's a spirit that cleans up the spirits around the school and was sealed in that room for at least 60 years and asks MC to come in. Yajime, I'll say it again because the manga didn't. Cut to them playing a fighting game, a video game, and she's really good at them. She's big into pop culture stuff. The room is an otaku dream. She's got the eyes for him because he's so kind and offers him power to defeat spirits, which he declines because trauma over his dad being killed by them, which I kind of appreciated the way they did that because I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Cut to MC returning to class where the bullying has ramped up and spirits are swirling all around the room, taking form into a masked humanoid beast which harms and scares the bullies. I think one of them loses an arm. It's very intense. I only noticed that going back over it. I was like, wow. Geez.
Which I was like, those guys are dicks, but...
But also maybe they're kids. I don't think they need to be. The one guy pees himself. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yajime freaks out because trauma and... Yajirobe. Yajime freaks out because of his trauma, while the bullied kid offers himself up to be the decoy because he's real cool. The bullied kid who didn't get bullied stands up to the bullies. He's cool beans.
He seems a little suicidal.
He seems cooler than the main character.
Yeah.
Wanting to finally be strong and not just maintain peace through sacrifice, Yajime offers himself as protection, and Girl Spirit appears to offer them power to vanquish the spirit, and training to continue doing that. Yajime gets a cool spirit energy look and sword, which he uses to easily dispatch the monster spirit, even being told he's too strong and he needs to hold back as he slices a big hole in the schoolroom. he's so cool and powerful and nice, and all the girls like him, and oh my gosh, he's just the swellest fella on the block.
He could be an isekai protagonist.
Yeah, he gets to do it staying. He doesn't even have to die. He gets to do it staying in place.
Yeah.
You know, there's like vacation and staycation. This is a staysekai. Stays put. He's not in stasis. I'm gonna workshop, but I think there's something there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just a sekai. But...
World. So yeah, New Age Exorcist. I'm gonna admit, rereading this because I read this when it came out. I hated its bones, its blood, its flesh, and its everything the first time I read it. And this read through, I was like, I don't like it, but I'm okay with it. I came to peace with it.
It seems
sometimes I read something back again and it gets my blood boiling. Sometimes it's like, I've put down my weapons, I've mellowed out. I don't hate this.
I can see why you would dislike it.
Yep, you heard me joking about it's teenage boy wish fulfillment.
Yeah.
And then when I see that so blatantly, I go, ugh.
And we know exactly why it's doing so well.
But I thought the thing that I thought about to try to be more open-minded about things when I was reading it and I was having these thoughts and feelings again, admittedly more mellow, is I said, hey, what if instead of a very stock, like, it's a pretty lady, it's a pretty young-looking lady, it was like, what if it looked like a big lady? What if she had muscles? What if instead of doing like the aren't I so demure and helpless like little pose they do for her, what if she was big and did a big flex and went, I cleared out all the spirits? And maybe we'd be having a different conversation. Maybe, is that not just Fabricant 100, a series we'll cover one day that I've already covered on a different podcast?
Please tell me you're not that easy.
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm suggesting the question to the universe. If it was edited that she looked different and looked more capable, and not the little I'm young and weak. I'm just saying I'm a hypocrite. I'm saying I could be a hypocrite, and I want that to be known. I think that's me being honest about my strong feelings about things. Would it change? I don't know. I think also the main character being a bit spineless at times, whatever. But yeah. So yeah, now that I've gotten my little piece out of the way, what did you think of New Age Exorcist?
I thought it was, standard is a good word to use for it. And, as someone who reads a lot of stuff that is objectively not good.
It's wish fulfillment. You are someone who reads a lot of things that are wish fulfillment.
It was a good time.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It is fine. It is serviceable. The art is good. I like it. The characters are discernible. What's happening moment to moment is discernible and generally interesting enough to keep going on. The emotional thing of being given the pretty girl lets you in and she likes you and given the power, and him not liking it, wanting it because he's like, oh, my dad died to spirits and I'm traumatic feeling about that, actually resonated with me. And I was like, wow, okay, yeah, okay.
Something to get out of the way real quick.
Yeah.
As far as the art goes, it's well done, but it's still somewhat of a generic style.
Yeah.
I'm going to say these words, and then we're going to move on, and we're not going to speak about it again. Oh. If you'd like to come on the Discord and wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you can do that, but NT Revenge. Moving on.
Okay. He activated sleeper agents. I don't know what that meant. We're moving on.
I like this thing that's happening with shonen protagonists where they're very conflict averse.
I feel like that's been true for a while. I think we've just happened to seen a couple recently because it's the reluctant hero, which I hate because I love the ones where it's just like an adventure. Yeah, sign me up, of course. Why would you not be super jazzed about it? Is everybody a wimp? Are most teenagers wimps? I'm
someone who enjoys reading revenge stories. Not that one that I just mentioned. But this person, their family got killed by demons, and so they're going to go be a hero and kill demons. Or, there's so many of them. A lot of them are the villainous ones where it's something happens and they become a villainous, and then the body gets switched with the person, and that new person is going to get revenge for them and those kind of things. Yeah. And so since I read so many of those, reading something like MMA or here with New Age Exorcist, where the protagonist in the first chapter is I don't want to fight. It doesn't matter that these people are bullying me. I just want peace.
But also,
you know?
like, for him, for Yajime in Nue's Exorcist, it's that conflict creates more spirits. And spirits are dangerous because they can kill you, which he knows because they killed his father. Because they can clump together and make a super thing like a giant Katamari. And that's why. And I'm like, that makes sense. I like that as a reason to not like conflict of any kind.
Although that makes me wonder now that he's got the fancy sword, if he's just like, hey, screw all you guys. Who cares how many spirits come? I'm just going to cut them in half.
I would love that. I would love that a lot. That he just gets a complete 180 now that he's like, well, the thing I was holding back for. I know that won't happen. And also that's not how people operate because like they have their like habits and stuff. But that would be freaking great.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about. Like, it is just...
It's standard.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like, as someone who usually hates the generic, and I did at the time, I don't know, just this time I mellowed out on it. It was very unexpected for me, because I thought I was going to have an axe to grind with this one, too. But, like, it's like, I think just sometimes... Hi, behind the curtain, we record these in pairs if I haven't blubbed that enough times. Sometimes when you compare two things next to each other... When you've had something rank, the next thing can be, even if it's just average, can be a lot better. We had that, I think we'll be covering in the next set of episodes, Do Retry, which we probably should have, and I think I forgot, which was a boxing manga that came and then also admittedly died recently, but that came out 1 week and then MMA came out the next. Yeah, we should have recorded that now that I'm saying that out loud. But, like...
Hi, we're still new at this.
Comparing those two, which were, like, ostensibly both about combat sports, even if they were very different in like tone and what they were doing, having them so close to each other made the benefits of the one, the pros of the one, and the failings of the other one come up in so much more stark contrast. And I think that's what happened here. I had read Icehead Gill. There was so much about it that I just hated, and then I came to this that at the time I did not like, and now I was like, no, actually, compared to that, this is a lot more, like, I just didn't like it because it was so blatantly wish fulfillment, but it's, like, very structurally sound, and it didn't do anything to wow me, but I didn't, like...
Yeah.
I didn't hate it and wish for it to not exist.
In very stark contrast, this first chapter was paced very well.
Yep.
They introduced the main character. They introduced his peculiarity.
Yeah.
They introduced the main... foil of Nue and the way that the power would get to him, and then they showed a brief glimpse of his power, and that was it. And that's all you need.
And it moves at a really nice clip.
Yeah.
Like long chapter, like the first chapter of manga sometimes can feel very long. Because they are longer, but sometimes you feel it, and sometimes you're like, sings along like a song, and sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I want more, you know?
They didn't have to have him get the power within, 3 pages and then have him do a whole bunch of stuff with the power for the next 47 pages.
He gets it. He has like 4 pages of it, and then the chapter ends literally right after he slashes it and breaks a hole in the wall. And like, your power level's so maximum.
Broly's power is maximum.
It just dawned on me that someday, months, maybe even years from now, we get to cover Roboco and me.
Ooh.
I'm excited about that.
But yeah, it's just...
It's fine.
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like that's what we're talking about constantly. Like, it's fine. It's fine.
I can
normally
see...
hate fine, but now I'm like, I'm mellow on it today.
This is one of those series where if someone like you were like, I don't really care for it, but you didn't...
It would make sense.
Yeah, but you're not going to sit there and trash it. Because it's just like, it's just standard. It's a Shonen Jump battler. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a teenage boy wish fulfillment.
And if you're into that, then you're going to get what you want out of it.
Yeah. So this is one that I never read any more chapters of, but my vague Osmosis future sight, if my memory is correct about what series we're talking about, of gleaning things from the Shonen Flop Discord, was that for a while, most people did not like it, but they were reading it as like not a hate read, but a garbage read, because it supposedly gets even crazier and weirder and dumber. And then at some point, people even got shook off from that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It makes me curious in a way to be like, what happened? What was going on that people were like guilty pleasure garbage reading this? Because it doesn't feel like the first chapter doesn't make it seem like it's that kind of a thing.
Well, I'll let you know what happens.
Oh, you're reading it.
Yeah. This is going to get real bad real fast.
I'm going to be tempted. I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of tempted, to just poke my head in just for a few more, just to see where it goes, to see, because like clearly it's still, I said at the beginning, which we should put at the end, it's still alive. It's seemingly thriving. It is always in the first half of series in Shonen Jump. Like, despite the fact that a bunch of adults don't care for it, teenage people in Japan or whoever makes the number go up for them deciding where they get placed.
Teenage boys, apparently.
I'm assuming. Shonen Jump makes me assume teenage boys.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious, but not in a vacuum. That first chapter didn't make me like, I'm dying to read the next one. It's like...
But that's the thing is, I think it's got a target market.
Yep. It's not for me, and that's fine.
High school boys in Japan. It's got a busty female who likes video games and manga.
Yeah, she's just like you, but she's a cute, hot girl, and she likes you.
She gives...
Like, I get it. Like I said, if she looked different, I'm sure I would be a complete hypocrite about getting down on those things. Which is why I'm trying to be older and reformed.
She's giving the main character a power right away that he can... not get bullied anymore.
And then literally saying, wait, you're too strong too quickly. You have to hold back. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. So this is...
So what's your quick draw rating that we're experimenting with that term, unless we hate it when we listen to this?
I'm going to, just because of what it's doing, I'm going to call it a hit. That's not necessarily how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But it's marked all of the boxes for... This will eventually get an anime.
Know what's funny about that, though? I would say Kagurabachi is that, and Kagurabachi isn't doing too well, even with its meme power.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It's a similar thing.
But I think it's not as standard. It's weirder.
Right.
It looks weirder. It's doing weirder stuff, even if some of its bones are very standard.
And that's the thing, is like, this is not necessarily the kind of thing that I'm like all about.
Yeah.
But it's something I'm interested in enough to keep reading. So,
yeah. If I'm being honest to how I felt when I read it originally, flop, reading it now, it'll live. Obviously, it'll live. In hindsight, that's kind of makes anything right now a little stupid. But like,
that's why I'm saying it's going to be a hit.
I said it's fine. Compared to other things that got axed, it does what it's doing. It does its job. It does it clearly and cleanly, at least for chapter 1, which says a lot for other chapters, because the series can find its feet. But if your mechanic, that's always my thing. If your mechanics are bad about storytelling in any of the ways that can manifest in the first chapter, it does not give me hope for later ones.
Yeah. I almost feel that thing that you have where it's like, if this didn't exist, something better could exist.
Yeah.
And I think I understand that reading this.
What if there was another series that was a wish fulfillment, but it was my wishes instead?
Exactly. But like, I think something more interesting could go here.
Yep.
It's just very standard. I don't...
It's a thing that is. It's fine. It's fine. I think that's everything, right? We said we're reading it.
Yeah.
We gave our rating. We gave our quick draw rating.
I'm going to keep reading it, and I'll report back.
Yeah. At some point, we'll do a big report back on things to see where things are at, if they've lived, if they've died, if we're reading them how they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And just do a big roundup, big long episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been Shonen Jumping the Gun with covering Nue's Exorcist. If you would like to play along at home, we've recently had some cancellations in Jump or looming cancellations. You can join us on our Discord, but very specifically the Shonen Flop Discord, where I run the flop polls, where when new series start in Shonen Jump, we all put our votes in, just like we do on this very podcast. And you can feel very silly about getting completely wrong. I'm sure a lot of people in that Discord, if I had been running this when Nue's Exorcist come out, we would have had egg on our face.
I've had a lot of arguments on there already.
Had a lot of egg. But yeah, with that out of the way, Brad, hit me with them plugs.
Yeah, so as always, thanks to Sugoi Mart for partnering with us. Sugoi Mart is a retailer of Japanese snacks, drinks, toys, and merch. They got a lot of cool stuff you can't get outside Japan. And if you use the link in the description or code APR15 at checkout, you can get 15% off your first order, which also helps us out. And you can let us know what you think on social media, which you can find links for on our website, animepodcasterreincarnation.com. You can leave comments about these podcast episodes and also find other posts and reviews. We've also got a Discord where you can chat with us, and be sure to check out our Patreon. Supporters get perks like getting to vote on which series we cover on heroin addiction, as well as getting the high-quality stereo version of the podcast episodes early. And we'd love to hear what perks you'd like. And of course, we got to get our patron shout-outs out of the way. First off, at our Reincarnator tier, we have Cake Dwarf and Moon. Next, at our Merchant tier, we've got Kill Hour. And last but certainly not least, at our Commoner tier, we've got Rena. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you once again, everybody, for listening. Make sure you listen to our mainline podcast, That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster. And Brad, my podcast power is maximum! On today's episode, Nui's Exorcist. I don't know what I'm doing.
No, don't do
I was
that.
trying to do a big spooky voice and it didn't
It
work.
sounds like Mr. Ed.
Yeah. Wilbur, there's an anime girl. She's really cool.
Oh, Wilbur, I can see cursed spirits.
Wilbur, put on Ume Pretty Derby for me. Is this recording?
Yes.
That needs to go somewhere. Just literally no other at the end but that, unless there's something really killer.